Hello everyone, here I am today. I'm not going to pull for the new unit here on Starseed Asnia Trigger. In fact, I'm going to do my best to actually cover her. This is Jacky currently up on rate up in Starseed Asnia Trigger. She's only got 1 day left, so I'm doing this incredibly last second. But she's an interesting character in this game. She is a ranger and she is damage. So don't just take my word for it, but let's check out her Proxyan info. So Jacky here is a ranger from Automata, and she is an explicator. So Jacky is interesting. I mean, the design is like, tight. We like the design. But I'm not gonna get distracted. Anyway, let's go to her ultimate skills here. So her Awake grants the following effects to enemies within the area of effect. Deal 700% damage, reduces attack speed by 60%, cast a Hunter's Pursuit effect. So she's a debuffer with her Awake skill, which is pretty good, especially if you're dealing with some pesky enemies that tend to do a lot of damage. Mainly, she seems like she'd actually be pretty good in PvP. And, with Awake in PvP, she could probably be pretty detrimental to some units out there. Maybe like Kaito, she could be detrimental to Destructive Leia, whatever her name is. Yeah. But in Blossom, she teleports behind the closest enemy, grants the following effects to enemies within the area of effect. Deal 1,100% damage. Cast a stun effect for 3 seconds. Cast a Hunter's Pursuit for 6 seconds. Cast Stealth. Stealth just means she can't be targeted. Stealth, the effect is removed when there are no more remaining. So if she's the last man standing, she can't go into stealth mode. They'll see her all the time. And it's solid, really good. She hits hard. She hits hard in Blossom. If you need a unit that does fairly well, I mean, here you go. Ultimate skills are pretty vanilla. I think her Awake is gonna have a lot more use in a lot more content. Um, as far as how far that content stretches out to with Jacky, I'm gonna go on a limb and say not much. Like I really think she's just gonna shine in PvP, maybe campaign, and maybe like Guild Wars. But outside of that, I mean, I think she'd just be decent enough to really get by on some bosses with her Blossom. But even then, there are other units who do similar and do better. And here's something that I don't like. It says Hunter's Pursuit grants additional effects when hit by Jacky. Well, this is Jacky, so we'll see what else that means. Next up, her next skill, Weak Point Detection. Deal 600% damage to the target, increases this Proxyan's attack speed by 50%. So she'll hit hard, and she'll hit fast. 50% is a pretty nice speed boost, and 4 seconds is a long time. I mean, at level 1, it's still 4 seconds, and it's still a 20% speed boost. So she's not gonna slouch in any team she's in. Next up, Herding the Prey. Grants the following effects to enemies within the area of effect. Deal 700% damage. Cast a Hunter's Pursuit effect. So Hunter's Pursuit effect for 6 seconds here. Okay. It's pretty straightforward. Pretty vanilla. Now, Hunter in the Mist. Activates the following effect when this Proxyan lands a basic attack on an enemy afflicted with Hunter's Pursuit. Okay, so I think Hunter's Pursuit is like a dot, not a dot, but it's like a debuff done by Jacky, and only Jacky's going to be able to proc that debuff. Increase this Proxyan's attack speed by 20%, and that's at level 4. Increase this Proxyan's ignore defense by 10%, max 10 stacks. Max 10 stacks. So at level 4 with 10 stacks, she'll go up to, I think, 200%? and then she can completely ignore the enemies, or at least ignore 100% of the enemy's defense. I'm assuming that's if the enemy doesn't have any defensive buffs up. So if it's just, them against Jacky, Jacky's just going to tear right through them. And here it says disables active skills 1 and 2 for 2 seconds. What about level 1? Oh, that's still not bad. Increases Proxyan's attack by 8%, increases Proxyan's ignore defense by 4%. So even at level 1, she's going to get an 80% attack speed, and Hunter in the Mist, her defense ignore is still 40% defense ignore. Still deactivate skill 1 and 2. So if you get her, you're going to want to level up Hunter in the Mist. Probably one of the first things you're going to want to do with her. So pretty nice. That's actually really nice. Now her EX skill over here. This is all dealing with her plugin. Now, plugins are nice. They do add a lot, but if you're not focused on the character that you're pulling for, as far as their plugin goes, I mean, most people can expect SSR. UR is not hard to come by, but then you start hitting MR, and that's when you kind of start, suffer. MR is where you start suffering, because you really want the nice plugin. LR, I've been playing this game for like 6-8 months. I have 2 units at LR. I'm very much free to play in this game. Hitting LR on a plugin really sucks. I don't like it, but it is what it is. And if you want to get the most out of her, you're going to want that LR plugin. Why? Well, right here, at the start of battle, cast a Hunter's Pursuit effect innate on the enemy with the highest attack, so she will chase down the biggest bad on the opposite team. Activates the following effects every 4 attacks this Proxyan lands. What is it? Increases basic attack damage by 30%, max 30 stacks, innate. So 30 times 30, what is that, 900? No, I think I'm stupid. Hang on, wait, let me do a little bit of math here on a calculator that you can't see on my screen. Nope, wrong numbers. So 30 times 900. Okay, yeah, it's 900. So for every stack, it's 30%. So she can be doing 900% additional basic attack damage. Increases crit by 8%. Max 10 stacks. So her critical rate will go up by 80%. So if she has any more critical rate, even another 10%, you're basically guaranteeing crit hits. Increases crit damage by 4%, 50 stacks. That's 200% crit damage. She's just damage. Yes, her awake is basically setting her awake ultimate is setting her up for everything else her kit does. Even at the SSR plugin here, it still increases her basic damage by 15% at 30 stacks. That's still, let's see, what is that, like 450% or something ridiculous? 15 times 30, 450. Her critical rate still goes up by 5% at 10 stack. With 10 stacks, 10 times 5, that's 50% critical rate. That's 1 every 2 hits. Increases crit damage by 4%, max 20 stacks. That's still an 80% crit damage. So if her attack stat is high enough, literally the SSR, the plugin is just kind of like the cherry on top. You don't even need the cherry. The ice cream is good enough. So Jacky here, I'd say she's probably going to be mean as hell in PvP. You combine her with Amy or Echidna, or who else is the other one? Who else is really good in PvP as a ranger? Claudia? Claudia's pretty good. But outside of PvP, she would struggle in boss raids. I wouldn't bring her to world raids. I wouldn't bring her even to, our very vanilla basic boss raids that we do daily. I forget what they're called. Apologies. But she'll hit hard for what she does. If you want to take her into a world boss raid, go for it. But the problem is that those bosses hit hard, and they will slap her down pretty quickly. I mean, I've got other units that I take in there, and you know, some units, if they don't have a self-defense up on some of their biggest hits, they just get taken out fast. Even Leah, who's like super utilitarian, she puts up her own defensive shield. If she launches an ult too soon before an enemy ults off, a boss ults off, she's dead. It just is what it is. Jacky here, I wouldn't say she's horrible by any measure. I mean, hell, like I said, in PvP, you have another unit there and they can, you know, distract from them. What, Machina? You got Machina on your team? With her? Oh, stupid. And then Jacky can go stealth on the enemy? Well, as long as Machina's on the field, the chances of them hitting her outside of an AoE, like, no. Jacky will be just fine. Now, do I recommend you pull for Jacky? I mean, if you are very competitive in PvP, you're hyper competitive, you have the resources, and you love her style, yeah, go for it. I'm not going to tell you no. If you've been saving up and you're like, hey, you know, I want to get her, my recommendation, get her to like MR1. You don't need her much past that. If you're going to get her plug-in, you want to get her up to UR? Feel free. UR MR1 Jacky, I mean, she'll still tear it up. She'll make the enemies blush. Actually, I don't think they'll have time to blush. She'll just take them out before they realize what happened. She's just going to be disgusting on your side of the field. Now, what else do I have to say about her? I mean, not much else. She's got some cute fits, though. I mean, this feat's nice. What? Oh, we can see her other cloak. Okay, hold up. This fit is cooking. What's this one? White Huntress? Nah, I like this one there. Wow. Okay, you know what? MR1 is plenty. You get the right fit. Whoa, hold up. Oh no, never mind. I thought I saw the cake move. Yeah, but she's good. She's good. She'd be great in PvP. You need a PvP unit? You need something that's going to tear up the other team? Go for it. Make sure you build around her because she's going to want that help. If you throw a kitten on top of her, she's going to hit that much harder. Or you throw any support on top of her, she's going to get hit that much harder. So my opinion on Jacky, she's solid. But I wouldn't take her anywhere else outside PvP campaign or whatever other events there are where you take on you know, other Proxyans where you stand a fighting chance that they can all get distracted. They have no AoE attacks. Because she gets AoE'd once and she'll either be dead or she'll be limping. And I don't think you want Jacky limping along because, you know, once one Proxyan goes down, it's really tough for the others to pick up the slack that quickly. But anyway, those are my 2 cents on Jacky. Yeah, she's got a fit though. You know, I might end up pulling her to MR. You know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. No, you know what? Screw it. I'm gonna do it. Yeah. No. Alright, I gotta end that video here. I'm starting to question my own judgment. Y'all have a good one. Have a great night. My name is Lenari Ray. I'm also a streamer on Twitch, Kick, and if you get the opportunity, please give me a follow, even here on YouTube or wherever you're watching. Thank you so much for taking the time on clicking this video, and I wish you all a great rest of your day. Have a good one. I'm outie. Ciao.